I was planning to run the hard Korthos and keeping the Borderlands quest before leveling up, and that's still the plan, but it could change because Borderlands have been very, very good to us in the sense that we have 3,982 plat, mostly from wilderness runs, and then I have all this loot. In fact, my inventory is literally almost full. But I don't know if I could sell it all because there's a plat limit of 5,000. So I'm going to try to see what happens here. All right, 98. So it looks like I'm going to really run into a problem here quick, but I'm going to try to sell uh, everything. Take a look at my end, see where I'm at. And if that's the case, I may need to level up to 4 and quicker and get less XP just because of the plat limit. I'm not worried about XP, even if we're getting minus 25% for running quests. I just feel that we have enough, enough. We're going to get plenty of experience. We're never going to have a problem leveling up at this point trying to run all the quests. So I'm at 700. I'm going to try to go all the way to about 1,000. None of these items really look interesting to me. All right, I'm 1,093. Let me back off one item. All right, or two items. Okay, so I should be able to sell this fine. Plat limit's 500. And I'm going to try to sell one item that would put me over the limit and see what happens. All right, you can see that we can't do it. So that's a real problem. So I'll just take a quick look and see if maybe we could find something on the auction house to buy. That would be great. If not, I think the plat limit the plat limit will literally double next level, so that will be good. And we're only a few ranks away, so I'm just going to take a look at the auction house here, see what we have for level 3 and 4, since we're pretty close to 4. Let's take a look at, I'll start with light armor. We're going to be hitting uh, the harbor soon, and one thing that is common there is electrical damage. So if I can get some electrical, I mean, I do have evasion, so that will help against it. But there's a lot of electrical damage, so if I happen to find this, I mean, this is not bad, but it would spend all my money. I don't think I looked at this one last time, but nothing too exciting about that. It's all right, but I don't know if it's really worth the money. Um, can't buy that one. So nothing in the light armor. Again, we checked it yesterday, so not much has really changed. I don't think I want to look at cloth. Let's see. Let's take a look at clothing. That's what I meant to do. Nothing super exciting. You can see that, certain items like feather falling really go for a lot. Of course, we have a feather falling item from our questing, so we don't need to spend that kind of money on that. That's actually not bad. We don't really have a good ring. I mean, Constitution 2, we don't really need the combustion, but we could use a Constitution 2 item, and we don't even have a ring at the moment. And this ring really is more of a swap ring. We don't need it on there. So that's not bad. That might help us a little bit, clear some inventory space. But I think we're still going to have to probably level up at 4, and that's also not bad. Lose an attack +1, but wisdom +2 is good for spot. Ooh, spot 4 and seeker 1. So this is definitely better than what we have. That's good. So there's a few items I think I would be willing to buy that weren't available yesterday. This is a really nice item actually, strength and con. Although I like that damage reduction. I don't think it's game breaking, but I wish it was in a different slot. All right, well, so this has convinced me. I think we could probably uh, Seeker plus one improves damage a little bit, so I think that's a little bit better than attack plus one. So I'm going to go ahead and buy this, and I'm going to go ahead and buy this instead of the other one with strength. I think we're okay on strength without the plus two, and I don't want to give up that damage reduction. So now I'll just head over to the mailbox. All right, so I'm just going to run over to the bank, put the goggles in there. Well, that was fortunate. We found a few items that we could buy, and that should give us enough money to, keep questing as long as we can. Once I do run into the plat limit, I'm just going to go ahead and level up and not worry about experience because I don't think we're going to really ever run into problems with getting enough experience this life. First life is about half the experience of, third and subsequent lives. So it just goes really quick. All right, now we should be able to sell all this. I didn't really see anything. I'm going to double check as I look over it, but I didn't see anything super exciting the last time we sold. I'll keep this potion of resist electricity. It's only good for probably a few minutes, but I'll try to get a resist electricity item, but in case I don't, I'll maybe stock up on potions. That's another thing we could buy actually with our money is potions. Um, but let me see what level. So let's head back to Korthos, wrap up Korthos, and uh, that'll be the topic of this video, and then we'll run to and then we'll have a separate video on rerunning the keep on the Borderlands on hard. All right, so we already reran this quest on hard and the collaborator on hard, which is a little out of order, but we haven't rerun the storehouse secrets on hard yet. You can say we're in no way struggling here on hard, and I see I have my daily dice, so we'll go and mail. I'll check and see if I forgot to get a piece of mail after this. Yeah, it's only hard mode, so it's hard to say. I think the real test will be when we get to elite, but so far the quarterstaff damage is a little better than I was thinking. I thought that a great axe would be much better, but I'll test it a little bit, but I don't think that's going to be the case. I think those bonuses we're getting from Rogue, the 15% attack speed and the +4 to damage, might actually tip it, quarterstaff for us. But we'll test a little more once we get a better greatsword. In fact, I should have probably checked that first in the auction house. This quest, because it is a protect mission and that crystal doesn't have very many hit points, it is a little bit harder. And if you fail it, I would not worry about it. I would just go back and repeat it on hard and then elite at a higher level. Don't sweat it if there's any quest you can't complete on a difficulty. This one I think we'll complete, but on elite it's going to be a little bit harder. But if I think if we give ourselves one more level, it would be no problem. Remember to put your hireling on do their best, this red setting here. That way, when there is an enemy, they'll usually spot it right away and attack it. Like that helps a lot. It's kind of funny on hard. This level 3 hireling could basically solo the quest. Two-handed fighting has a bigger hitbox, as it's called, than two-weapon fighting. So you can see when those enemies weren't right next to me. They were close, but they weren't right next to me. With two-weapon fighting, the hitbox is smaller, and you have to be kind of right up on top of them a little more to do damage. But that's the great thing about two-handed fighting is you have a bigger hit range, uh, and so especially for people like me that tend to prefer the casting style, it's a little more forgiving in terms of positioning. But even me that prefers the casting style on a first life character, I think casting is just not the way to go. It's a lot harder to play. Spell point management's an issue. So many issues. So it's just I think just playing a martial build, it's a lot easier, especially to run all quests. As a caster, oftentimes I would skip quests that were particularly difficult for a caster, but you don't really have to do that in a martial build. Just gonna head out to the harbor real quick and check my mail and see what I missed. Also, we'll make my daily dice roll. I see that's available. Should always do that silver daily dice roll, and I normally just take the XP immediately, just because inventory is kind of an issue. So unless there's some reason to hold it, I should just take it right away. Although in our situation, it'd be banking it as a all right. So uh, we received 25 more favor for hitting 50 to, or 25 more DDO points for hitting 50 favor. That's a total of 100 for us this life. That's pretty quick. It's been a little less than a day. And that's enough to buy one expansion pack. But before I started this character, I actually ran for 100 favor on every server and then purchased the 200 pack. So if I look at my DDO store history, you'll see I have 770 points. And if I go to my history, we can see what that is. It's a totally free to play account. So basically, I earned favor. I did it a little bit out of order at times, but basically, I earned 100 favor on every server. So, if you multiply 125 times 7 for the other 7 servers, that's 875 minus the roughly 200 would be 675, or actually 677. And then I earned 100 on this server so far for 777. So that's the math on that. And then here's what the packs look like when you redeem them. It gives you basically all the packs. It shows up in your history. And then you get here's the 2 purchases of the Menace of the Underdark. And then I did a few more server runs. And then here's my DDO, or my running on this server so far. So pretty cool that they let you see the whole history. If you're ever wondering, did I get my points? You could always go there and double check. Let me make my daily dice roll and see what I get. 300 experience points and an elixir of angel tears, which is not all that exciting. I'll probably just sell it to a vendor. Um, Actually, it's a little bit of a heal spell, so maybe I'll keep it for a pinch. A little better than what we have right now. I haven't had to use them yet, but if we get into a pinch, we'll go ahead and use that. So we just have a couple more wilderness quests around. I'm going to go ahead and get Axebane this time, and then if I think when we get into, I think here in Korthos you run into more piercing damage, but this is actually useful. Probably run this once I get into Harbor, where I think you might get some more slashing damage. Okay, we ran 2 of the quests here on hard already because we wanted the items. So, and this next one is short, so I'm going to go ahead and use my Expeditious Retreat boots in the wilderness. This won't recharge before I enter the quest, but I'll still have 4 charges for the quest, and it's a 5-minute quest, so 20 minutes of clickies is more than enough. Now I can just swap on my Featherfall. And hard is unlocked, so we'll run it on hard. And as you probably noticed, it's probably easier on hard than it was even on elite for us the first time. We're just stronger. So that's how the difficulties work. A lot of times, upping the difficulty will not seem hard if you've improved your power. And a hireling's hard is a lot stronger too. The level 1 hireling, didn't do much damage. This one does more damage and is no problem taking on these enemies. And elite, likewise, will not seem hard by the time we get there. It'll seem a little. It is a little harder. I mean, it's a bigger upgrade from hard to elite than from normal to hard. But as long as we make sure the progression is reasonable, it'll be similar when we get to elite. On rogue, I usually go left and then right because I could see that secret door. Just realized I forgot to spend my action points, so we'll do that after this quest. It's not a big deal, but we could be getting some more damage uh, if we if we spend those points. Oops, I forgot to pull this lever. These boots give cold resistance. Not horrible, but 3 is not that big of a number, so we'll loot them, but just sell them after eventually. You could just avoid those traps. I think that's what we did last time, but you could really disable it. You get a little extra XP. And in this puzzle, we need to direct the cold to the cell, so we have to connect up the center crystal with this crystal and this one. These are really underwhelming hats, so we're just going to grab one to sell. You could say I took 4 damage. That's about the most I think I've taken in Korthos. So, a little more damage on hard, but still nothing that's a problem for sure. We'll go ahead and even though we could have gone the other way, there's a bonus for finding secret doors. You can see we 8% bonus for finding 2 secret doors, 10% bonus for disabling traps. So in a lot of cases, you could skip them. And again, we're going to be way over the limit for XP, so there's no real big deal for doing that. But when we get to Reaper, we always want to max our Reaper. There's no such thing as max Reaper XP. So even if we're going to max out on regular XP, we still want to get the most Reaper XP we can out of a quest. So a lot of times it's worth doing those bonuses just for that once you get there. Yeah, the hireling was just going to stand in that damage, so I had to pull it out and put it on stand its ground here, and then that way it won't walk into the damage. Unfortunately, hirelings do, that's one flaw of the hirelings is they sometimes if you're standing next to a thing doing damage, they'll just stand right next to you taking the damage. As a reminder, we just have to make sure we keep this NPC healed. You can just highlight it and then have the hireling bring them up to full. This guy, as I understand it, can't die, so you don't really need to worry about healing Amalgam. I'm going to recall because I keep forgetting to set my enhancement points. It's one of the downsides when content's kind of easy. You can get a little bit sloppy. So I've got 3 action points to spend. Um, Probably going to spend it in Knights of the Chalice, although uh, we may want to before by level 5 get something set up in the defense tree. So this gives us 10% strike through, and the next enhancement, next level, will give us 20%. So that's pretty good DPS. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's see, forgot to get this on reward. I already have I don't need the Feathered Fall cloak anymore, so maybe I'll just get this for a clicky. Although soon we'll get healing and probably just get rid of that cloak. This NPC we only have to talk to the first time, so we don't need to worry about talking to him again. I believe, unless it's changed, the end reward for Misery's Peak is only the first time, so we won't get an end reward for this quest, but we'll still get completion and the experience. This is our first level 2 on hard. I don't think we're gonna really experience any more difficulty, but it is a little bit harder than the other Korthos quests. Don't know if you noticed, but even with my Spirit Bane, these arrows were doing mostly zeros to me uh, with the 4 damage reduction. We're gonna make sure we get the objective. These things are kind of annoying because they web us. So as I see them, I try to take care of them right away because with 3 or 4 of them, just a much greater chance you're going to get webbed. Although you've probably noticed that this is actually going a lot faster for us on hard than it went on normal, and that's well, we have 5 clickies of expeditious retreats now, so we're going a lot faster, for longer. But also we're just doing a lot more damage because of the enhancements and level 3 feat we took, which is giving us a little more power. Or not level 3 feat, the mainly the enhancements. forgot to sell this feather cloak from Korthos. We don't need that anymore. We have a feather fall cloak, so just swap this on to jump down. Always move, just go right from that cave to get to the correct direction. I'm gonna get my shield clicky on because we're getting to an area where we'll probably hit some magic missiles again. I'll show you what happens if somebody tries to hit me with magic missile when it happens. You see like a little blue kind of symbol above my head. That means I was protected by the shield. I guess it's like a kind of a blue shield looking thing. Did you see that blue shield above my head? That's the magic missile protection. I'm going to try to kill the acolytes last here. So take a look for like the blue, big blue shield symbol above my head. That's the magic missile protection. There it is. I'm going to do this just to refresh. I think I have enough expeditious retreat clickies. Uh, I'm out of shield clickies, but probably not a big deal. But I'm going to go ahead and just do this so I can keep those clickies going. That's why one of the reasons why it's nice to get more than two of these. 10 minutes is a lot of quests as you get higher level will be longer than 10 minutes, so it's nice to have that shield clicky throughout the whole quest. You can see I'm taking a lot of zeros, misses, zeros. That's from the damage reduction. Spear Vein. There's some armor from Three Barrel Cove Wilderness that gives us 6 DR for both slashing and bludgeoning. We're going to try to get that armor, although the drop rates in Three Barrel Cove Wilderness are horrendous to say the. Oops, I went the wrong way, to say the least. So we may not get it, but we're going to give it a try, and we'll stop at a few. There's another rare along the way that will, or there's another rare along the way that drops a quarterstaff. That's probably the best quarterstaff in the game, starting at level 5 or 6. The armor is level 4, but the staff is either 5 or 6. So as soon as we get to 4, we're going to go ahead and run that. It's uh, level 5 normal. It's going to feel a little bit harder than this does probably, but not much. Looks like I missed one of the wards. So there's the one I missed. All right, that wraps up the Korthos hard cleanup.